in Italian means my kitchen. And boy, do I have an amazing, delicious, one-pot meal. I call it Balsamic fig chicken. And wait till I show you this amazing, delicious meal. Pero la prima cosa, but the first thing that we need to do is to put on the fadale. And in Italian, apron is called fadale. So that's the first thing we're going to put on. And today is a beautiful sunny day. It's been raining here in Florida a lot. And right now it's full of butterflies and birds. And why not? And also it's a very special day today. A lot of my friends are celebrating birthdays, including one of my beautiful sisters, Marcela, in Argentina, in beautiful San Luis. Molti pace per te, Marcela. Many blessings to you. Okay, so now, the prima cosa, I'm going to be telling you what we're going to be utilized. Of course, the start of our show is going to be our beautiful figs. These are beautiful figs. They're from California. And right now, you know, fig is in season. It may not be in season in some other parts but of the world. So depending on when fig season is, this is the best time to get this started. So I am going to be utilizing, I'm going to start with ghee. And if you don't have ghee, and I highly recommend this, it's if you're going to get ghee, make sure that it's grass-fed, and I'm going to be utilizing ghee. If you don't have ghee, use butter. So you're going to be looking at a tablespoon of butter, okay? So I'm going to be using ghee. I'm also going to be utilizing some garlic. I have 4 cloves of garlic. These are small. If they're small, I will use 4. If they're bigger, I will use 2. And then I have a beautiful shallot here that I'm going to be utilizing. I'm also going to be utilizing some wonderful walnuts. I'm also going to be utilizing some beautiful thyme. We're also going to be utilizing some honey. We're also going to be utilizing some balsamic vinegar. And then behind me, I'm going to be utilizing some gorgonzola cheese. Also, this dish is going to have chicken thighs, boneless chicken thighs. And this typically is served with either potatoes or rice, polenta, or veggies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be utilizing vegetables. And what I have here is my beautiful chicken that I have already washed. I had my butcher take as much fat as possible, and I have them right here. So we're going to be doing them in steps. So la prima cosa, and yeah, I keep saying la prima cosa, so then you know la prima cosa means the first thing, is I am going to start my little pot here. I'm using a 1 pot. So it's just going to be a 1 pot meal, easy peasy. And I'm going to want this at about a medium to medium high. So that what I want to do is, the first thing that I want to do with this is that I am going to take ghee. So now, if you don't have ghee, obviously you're going to be utilizing 1 tablespoon of butter. So I'm going to be using a good, a very heaping a teaspoon of ghee, because ghee goes a long way. And while this is melting and doing its thing, okay, I'm going to be bringing your attention to the figs, these beautiful figs. And I also want to bring your attention to some dry figs, because if you can't find fresh, you can always use dry. I'm going to be utilizing both, so then you can see how they, how they are. But I'm also going to take a couple of these other little fig guys, and I'm going to put them on the side so I can decorate with that later. So what I have here also is, since I'm going to be utilizing veggies, is I have chosen personally a few broccoli that was going bad. And also I have here some beautiful cauliflower. That's all going to be a 1 pot meal. Super delicious, super easy, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to take my vegetables, put those over there, because right now I'm not really needing that. I'm also going to move my figs and put them behind me here. I always talk how important it is for us to be organized. And then I want to bring my chicken to the forefront over here. And I am just going to lightly salt everything, because, we have a lot going on. And what we want to do is we want to get the little chicken thighs to start browning. Okay, and then we're going to start adding as we go. So just very little salt, just like I used. You know, you're more than welcome to use a lot more salt, but I have discovered that you don't really need that much salt. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to utilize some black pepper, something that you can easily have in your pantry. Very simple, very easy. Like I said, if you don't have ghee, guys, use a tablespoon of butter. Okay, so now that I have this, I want to make sure that this is nice and hot, because once I lay them down, and you know, and they're in a nice cold plate, so don't worry about it, you know, and not, you know, getting too warm. So right now I'm just kind of eyeing this to make sure this is doing what it's doing. In the meantime, I want to bring your attention to my shallot, and yes, I'm going to cut the shallot, and hopefully it'll be a nice little shallot that is not going to make me cry. And hopefully shallots are not going to be that strong. So what we want to do is we really want to chop the shallot. So we just need one shallot for this particular dish, guys. One shallot. All right, so now what I want to do is I am going to take the side that I did not salt and pepper it, and I'm just going to lay it right like so. My pan is nice and hot. That's exactly how I want it. Because, you know, we want to get a sear, and they're all going to be cooking all at the same time, and it's going to be marvelous and delicious. And that's what we want to do. And you know, and once you lay them down, guys, I always say, and I'm using a cast iron, I don't know what they're, you know, they have all these different names. I'm using a cast iron pan here with a lid, because you know we are going to be covering them up, and this is going to be dinner, and also this is going to be lunch. And I like, you know, when I'm very, very busy, and I'm sure a lot of mothers out there as well as fathers, you know, when you're very, very busy, you have to have something that is going to allow you time to have a very good meal, and at the same time be able to feed your family. All right, so now that I am done with this, boom, finished, finito. Super easy, super simple. All right, so now I'm going to bring your attention back to this guys right here. I'm just going to go ahead and cover these guys now, and just leave a little vent, just for it to vent. Oh, very simple, very easy. Now, because I'm going to be cutting these, I'm going to go ahead and get my garlic started. So this recipe came about, gosh, I can't remember how far it dates, because, you know, the first thing that my father did, and I talk a lot about my family, because, you know, when we moved from Italy to South America, my father had to start all over again, you know, cultivating the land. And then when we moved from South America to America, then my dad had to do it all over again, you know, and by that time I'm sure he got a lot of practice. And my dad was an incredible farmer, and he can practically grow anything and everything. And the first thing that my father did when we moved to Florida is to plant fig trees. Yes. And he just absolutely loved fig trees. A big shout out to you, Marcela. Feliz cumpleaños. Happy birthday, mama. Happy birthday. She just came on. I just wanted to acknowledge her. And she's watching from Argentina. See, I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing. So, you know, so when we would have a lot of figs, you know, my mom and dad, you know, they will come up with all kinds of different wonderful ideas on how to make everything. And I just loved watching, you know, I just always loved watching. I might not understand, you know, but I just would, you know, I always learned by seeing things. I'm the kind of person that I have to see it. All right, so you can see this is all over here, minding its own little business. I'm actually going to use one of these guys, and I'm going to put it right in this, because I always don't do that, but I'm trying to get better. I can only be better, you know. Every day we just have to be better than we were the day before. So I you know, it takes a lot of practice. It took me a lot of years to get organized. Let me tell you, I would have a mess in the kitchen, and now, you know, I try to clean as I go, and that's the key, guys, so it doesn't get overwhelmed. So what we are going to be utilizing, guys, is, let me give you the recipe. 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 medium shallot, 2 cloves of garlic, nice size. I'm using 4 because they were small. We're going to be utilizing figs. I don't know how many figs to use to tell you, because you know my family, but they would just put a lot of figs because we loved figs. I'm going to be utilizing 2 tablespoons of honey. I'm going to be utilizing 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, and I'm going to be utilizing quite a few sprigs of thyme. I'm also going to be utilizing gorgonzola cheese, and I'm also going to be utilizing some walnuts. So I need a half a cup of walnuts, and you know, again, you know, my family did not sit there with a cup, so I'm just, you know, did not have a lot of walnuts. Okay, so now let me take this out, because I have a feeling that my chickens, ooh, that guy just came flying out. Oh yes, now that I'm turning these guys over like so, yes, oh yes. So now they're getting nice. So now what I'm doing is I just got a nice little crispiness, okay, to my chicken thigh. And see guys, when you don't touch it, it doesn't stick. And that's what happens with a lot of people that they write me that their cast iron skillet are sticking, and that's because you're touching it. You're touching it too fast. All right, so now to this right here that I have this, I am going to go ahead and add my shallots with my garlic. It's like, you know, we are just dropping, we're cutting and dropping. We're cutting and dropping. Now I'm going to add all of that in there. So in here went 1 shallot and 4 cloves of garlic, because that's what I have. So now what I have here is I'm not going to chop my walnuts. I want to be able to taste my walnuts. And then I'm going to use some for garnish later. Okay, so far so good. Fantastic. All right, so now I'm just going to get, you know, my vinegar ready. I'm going to get my onion ready, because, you know, this is a really fast transaction. So now let me bring my figs over here, because, you know, the figs are the start of the show. We got to have the figs. All right, so now to my figs, let me go ahead and cover this guys up right here. As you can see, we are adding and adding. Okay, so now what I want to do is, what I'm going to do with my figs, I'm going to use some dry figs, so that you know that it's okay to use dry figs. I'm probably going to use 3 dry figs. You know, when you count them, you know, they look just like that. They're just dry figs, guys. Okay, and then what I want to do to this is I'm just going to add them in here, like so. And I'm going to be utilizing fresh and dry. All right, and then what I'm going to do is take the little tips off over here, and then I am just, oh, look at that. Look at that fig. Oh, it is beautiful. I got to sing. You got to sing. You know, we are the ones that can change our attitudes. And, you know, in singing, it's like being sad and eating ice cream all at the same time. You cannot eat ice cream and be sad at the same time. And I learned that when my father passed, because I would eat a lot of ice cream, because, you know, I was very close to my father. As you can see, guys, I'm just adding these guys in here like so. Oh yes, they're all gonna be marvelous together. They all like each other. Oh, and wait till I show you that my little secret to this. And then, you know, in this little secret I'm going to show you, it really wasn't there when my parents, you know, moved here, because we didn't really know anything about dry cranberries. And the dry cranberries gives it a nice little sweetness. And if I were to measure this, I would just put it in my hand, okay? So now if I have these dry cranberries, how much will that give me? A good heaping tablespoon. So now what I want to do is I just want to add some cranberries in here, just like this. Oh yes, oh yes. All right, so now it's time for me to be putting in my wonderful vegetables. I'm just going to add them all on top of that, just like that, just like that. Okay, I'm going to put that on the side. So now comes my liquid. So now we are going to be utilizing 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. Okay, and this goes, and actually, you know, I like to kind of, it would be 3 tablespoons, and I kind of like to eye everything. Okay, so that goes my 3 tablespoons. can measure, but it takes 3 tablespoons. You know how I am with the measuring. And then of course the honey, we gotta have the honey. And you know, and a lot of people, they don't utilize on something, they don't think to use honey in something as savory as this, but it's delicious. So now the honey, 2 tablespoons of honey. Okay, so the 2 tablespoons of honey, it goes 1 tablespoon. I'm just gonna go all around it. Look at this beautiful honey. Oh yes. And I'm gonna take my other 2 tablespoons of honey. And what I am using is, I am using a local honey that is actually, you know, that is it's a guy that has his own honeybees right down the street from where I live, and he sells it. And let me tell you something, don't ever buy honey somewhere else. So let's just say that you live in California and you come to Florida and you buy honey in Florida. If you're having allergies, I highly recommend to buy the honey where you live, because I have found that it really helps with the sinuses, because I used to have, you know, I have problems with sinus. And what I have learned is, because I would go to North Carolina and I would buy their North Carolina honey, and their North Carolina honey, you know, would not be helping me. And then I started having the honey where I live, and my allergies have gotten better. Okay, as you can see, this is a really fast, wonderful meal. So now this is cooking. So now I am going to go ahead and turn this up a little more. So now I'm going to come in. I have my spoon right here, and I'm just going to check on these guys. Oh yes, they are doing marvelous. They're all hanging out there, and you're really worried about the juice, you know. And the thing is when you keep it covered, because what we want to do is we want this to rock and roll and do its thing. In the meantime, I still have my almonds, okay, and I still have my gorgonzola cheese. Get yourself a nice big platter like so. Now let me tell you something about gorgonzola cheese. I get the creamy gorgonzola, and trust me, I'm, you know, Borset is not paying me or giving me any free anything, okay? I buy this particular one because I like the fact that it doesn't have a lot of fillers, and I'm really getting that flavor that I'm really looking for. And then, you know, it always has this little package right here. Let me tell you something. When I open this and use it, I keep that little thing, and because it fits perfectly in the little thing, and then that way you can keep it like so, and you always have your cheese fresh because it's already have the cover on there. Easy stuff. All right, so now, because I want my plate, you know, because you know how I am, I gotta make it like a pretty, you know. Okay, I'm just gonna cut my little wonderful figs. I'm getting those ready. All right, so now let me bring your attention to the time. Time after time. I love to sing, because sing, it just makes you happy, you know, even when there are times that they're sad times. So how much? I would say about 5 or 6, because really this is the only herb that is going to be going in here, and I grow my own, and I am going to be utilizing quite a bit, because I'm going to be adding that right now in just a few minutes. In there, it's, oh, that smells that it's coming out of this, guys. Oh, it's amazing, and it's beautiful and delicious. And right now, you know, the figs are in, and so now is the time to be buying figs, guys. And let me tell you something else, what I do with figs. I also freeze figs, yes, and I have never had any problems of them not working out. I chop up my figs because I don't like anything going to waste, and you know, that comes from my parents teaching me a lot about that. Because there were times, you know, that there were hard times. Everybody has their hard times. You know, when you didn't even have enough butter or enough money for milk. So now that I have a good bunch of time that I really want my time in here, time after time, it's giving us this incredible, amazing smells. And I'm just going to keep this right here for a decoration. And I am going to be adding a lot more thyme, because really It needs it. It needs that flavor. And wait till you see how beautiful this is turning out to be, guys. Oh, it's beautiful. And you know, we don't have to cook our vegetables to death. You know, we don't have to. And I know a lot of people, they overcook them, and that's why they don't like them. So that, you know, I always suggest to keep them nice and crocante. Crocante. Crocante means, you know, like a little crunchier. A little crunchier. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. Oh, it's such a beautiful dish. Such a beautiful dish. And it makes all this wonderful yumminess. And it's just delicious. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm going to cover it up. Make sure you know that you turn up your heat. Okay, so now that I have my thyme over here, and let me grab something so I can clear the decks, because you know how I am. I like things to be clean and organized. Because you know, when you organize yourself, it's going to make your life so much easier, okay? So now with what I would do with the wonderful figs, oh my goodness, these figs are beautiful. I'm just gonna cut this a little bit more over here. And then what I wanna do is I want to slice these babies. Slice these babies, oh yes. And then what I wanna do is I wanna come over here, because you know, I have figs, and I want my figs to be seen. And like I said, figs are very good. So I'm just gonna put them on the side for right now, because what I want to do is, let me grab another guy, because you know, sometimes it's just good to just kind of, you know, put them around. So I'm gonna slice some, I'm gonna cut some in halves. So what I did, guys, okay, I took one guy like this. I took the tip off. I don't know if you guys can see my board. Let me move everybody out of the way. Okay. And then I just cut it in half again, and then I cut it in half again. Because I mean, look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful. Look here, let me show you how beautiful. And then it's so healthy. Did you know that figs clears toxins? Yes, it clears toxins. Did you know the figs are high in calcium? And did you know that they're wonderful for the heart? They're wonderful for the heart. And on top of everything, they lower your blood pressure. But everything is in moderation. You know, I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionalist. I just share with you my culture. I share with you other cultures and how, you know, and what we can do to help ourselves with our life. Okay, so now I am going to come back over here and check on my guys. So, oh yes. And what's happening is now the balsamic vinegar has married the honey and is making this wonderfulness. Oh yes. And it's almost about finished. I'm almost done with this transaction. And I got to show you, if I can, if I may, on how your chicken it looks. See that? Okay, so now that this is pretty much done, you see how fast and easy this is. My chicken, that's why, you know, so it's so good to have like a boneless chicken, boneless thighs, because they cook quick. And let me tell you something too, they retain it, the juiciness is so juicy. So then what I would do is I would take my chicken and I would just start plating it. Because it's done, guys. It's done. And I'm just going to plate, oh my goodness. I just had a taste. It's just delicious. And then I just want to put my chicken like so. Oh yeah, get yourself a really pretty plate. You know, you deserve beautiful things. And now I'm just going to get my beautiful, wonderful, oh yes, I hope that you guys can see this. Wait till you see this, guys. It's beautiful. And I'll come back and get the rest, because right now we are going to manja. Yes, it's lunchtime. Oh my God, it's lunchtime. And look how easy this was. So you have the wonderful dry ones, as well as your other figs that are, you know, that are fresh figs. And now I'm gonna put my lid back on here. If I can pick it up, it's pretty, be careful because it's hot. When you're using cast iron, it's hot. All right, so now guys, now that you have this, okay, now what I can do is I can come and kind of decorate my plate, you know, with a few little pieces here and there. You know, his figs are just, you know, are healthy for me, they're healthy for you. And it's like I said, it's a very, very pretty plate. We'll put some in the top. So we know that there are figs here, boy. Yes it is. This is, I'm telling you. And then what I would do is I would grab my beautiful gorgonzola. Oh, mamma mia, I'm getting excited. And then what I would do is I would grab a spoon like this, and then I would just put some gorgonzola over that. Oh, yes. I would put gorgonzola over that. And then, you know, gorgonzola and you know, and nuts, they go along so wonderful. And then I would just put my nuts like so. You know, I want to be able to see them here and there and make it look pretty. There is not going to be a bunch of anything else on top other than just a couple of sprigs of thyme. Oh yes, just like that. And let me show you guys what you made in 1/2 an hour. You see, Balsamic fig chicken with these wonderful figs. Okay, Bellies, this is all I have for you today. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining me on Mia Cucina and this marvelous, delicious Balsamic fig chicken. Enjoy for your health. I am Elena Jones and grazie molte. Thank you very much for joining me today. Okay, Bellies.